We're all familiar with the classic pairing of soup and sandwich, but I found a chef who figured out how to put a soup inside a sandwich. American Meltdowns, Paul and Sarah makes grilled cheese sandwiches that are so extraordinary that here in Durham, North Carolina, he and his crew, they're known as the Melt Gods. Classically trained as a French chef, he takes his love of grilled cheese to the extreme, using it as a vehicle for over a dozen ooey-gooey sandwiches on his menu. Everything is better smothered with cheese, and no flavor combination is off limits. Can I come check it out?
I'm on board, baby!
If he's this excited about grilled cheese, it has to be good. And one of the combinations is the classic French onion soup, with slow-glazed caramelized onions and rich Havarti cheese. A soup as a sandwich? Such a smart thing to do.
Welcome aboard, American Meltdown.
This is a huge griddle.
We can fit 48 sandwiches on here.
Oh, wow. How'd you end up here on this truck?
I went to culinary school, went to the French Culinary Institute in New York.
Good school.
And once I graduated, we decided to come down to North Carolina because it was just booming down here.
You're a chef, man, so you could focus on anything you wanted to, and you just like grilled cheese.
We did some grilled cheese tasting parties, and that was it. Everybody was like, this is the concept that really works.
Right on, man.
Put smiles on everybody's faces.
So what did you make to get in with the locals?
We're in the South. We're gonna roll with the dirty South first. Pimento cheese, kind of like the caviar of the South.
Pimento cheese is a cracker spread traditionally made from cheddar cheese, mayo, and pimentos. What makes your pimento cheese different?
We use garlic. I grew up Italian, so there's gotta be garlic in everything.
Oh, wow.
This is a local goat cheese.
And I see your very southern measuring style. A
Yeah,
little
you
bit of
know,
this, a little more of that.
I'm a big proponent of the eye, the eye measurement.
So how long you let that go? Do you want it coarse or do you want to have it just nice and smooth?
We want it pretty smooth so that the garlic breaks up. We call it goop, pimento goop. Sounds sexy.
Goop sounds very sexy, Paul.
Coarse ground black pepper, red bell peppers diced. Now I keep them raw, not cooked, because I really like the crunch in the sandwich. If we cook them, they'd be really soft like everything else.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mix some in, and then we got the second guy that goes in for the crunch. So we have cheddar.
So you normally serve pimento cheese cold, and you're gonna heat it up.
You know, as a grilled cheese truck, we like to melt everything. My wife loves it. It's one of her favorite things cold. Good on like just spreading on your Ritz crackers, classic.
The black pepper in there is my favorite. If it tastes that good cold, I can't imagine when it gets all melty.
Cool, let's go.
Let's get into it.
So this is actually a super mild sourdough. It comes from a local bakery. We're gonna spread on our pimento cheese. Sprinkle our corn. Little sugar flavor on there, just makes everything pop. We use a local andouille sausage.
So why andouille sausage?
We're in the South. Andouille sausage is kind of like New Orleans with those big flavor pops.
It gives that nice porky kind of fat flavor. And goat cheese goes so well with andouille sausage. A lot of people don't know that. You want to have that brine with that fat of the andouille sausage.
Yeah. Let's take this over to the grill.
All right.
We mix our butter with a little bit of vegetable oil, raises the smoke point.
All right, so you're pressing it down and it kind of gets that really good crisp sear on there.
Cooks for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side.
Since that cheese spread is so thick, does it take longer to melt?
The cheese won't always 100% melt by the time the bread's toasted. So, we've got our torch.
Jeez. First off, what a torch. That's not the little brulee torch you use. That is a monster.
No, we want to pack some extra power in here.
And it's charring that corn, which is nice, too.
You don't want to hold it too close, just high enough, and you can hear the roar of the flame. Tasting time.
This is what I've been waiting for, Paul.
This is one of my favorite sounds.
You want to talk about melty? That's almost running down my arm.
Right on?
To say you've outdone yourself is an understatement. The crust on the outside, that creamy pimento and a little bit of that goat cheese, that garlic is coming through, that porkiness of the andouille sausage. Beautiful, beautiful sandwich. And the red bell peppers, I can taste a little of that sweetness. So, man, you've outdone yourself.
All right, well, let's jump from America over to France. We got the French onion melt. Down here, the South is all about low and slow. French are about that, too.
So what made you want to do a French onion sandwich?
Well, we like to grill cheese everything. You know, when we taste something delicious, we're always thinking, how can I grill cheese that?
How can I grill cheese that? Of course. I've had French onion soup, but never a sandwich.
So we turned the soup into a sandwich, and it came out really good. You know, on a grilled cheese truck, we like to use butter.
This is genius. So what's your method here?
We got the onions sweating. At this point, start to brown on the bottom. We'll hit it with the salt and pepper.
Bringing those sugars out?
Oh, yeah. After the onions have gotten a sweat, we're gonna add some of our garlic.
Mustard, huh?
Yeah, the French kind. Lots of flavor. It's got that tang to it that I really like. to even out between the butter and the crunch and everything. Now I'm gonna add our garlic herb pesto.
Why pesto? French onion soup, you don't really think pesto.
It's a bitter herb pesto. It's not your classic pesto with like basil, sage, rosemary, parsley, and some thyme. And we puree it all together with some olive oil, and we do hit it with a little Parmesan cheese because we're a grilled cheese strip. And a little white wine. You know, one of those favorite French techniques, they love to deglaze. Steam comes up, helps cook the onions.
It usually takes about 2 hours prep and 8 hours of cooking to make caramelized onions for French onion soup. What have you got this down to?
So we do it all in about 3. Definitely a little condensed version. You know, after the flavors are all kind of caramelized and brown, we'll put it into a little braising pot with the liquid, the wine, the butter, and just let it braise about 3 hours. And all its own juices to concentrate the flavors. We really just want to deliver the best product possible. And as you know, as a chef, time is usually one of the key ingredients.
All this for a sandwich.
No, all that for a sandwich that goes out the window in like 5 minutes. We get our local bakery bread, our Havarti cheese.
So unlike French onion soup, why did you choose to go with Havarti instead of Gruyere?
Gruyere is a really delicious cheese, but when you melt it, it smells bad. And I think, you know, 80% of taste is your smell. So when you're putting it in your mouth and all of a sudden you get that real funky smell, a lot of people don't like that. So Havarti has all the tricks of Gruyere and just a milder flavor. So it melts down and really does the job for us.
All right, let's see it.
Let's cook. Butter up both sides.
Let's torch that puppy. I want that caramelization.
Wait, well, you're gonna be eating this, so
Yeah.
perfect. There you go, for you, man.
Music to my ears.
Crunch, crunch. Get in. Yeah, like the cheese dangling around.
That is French onion soup.
Yes!
The onions are the star. They are taking center stage. This is just smooth, it's sweet. The Havarti is carrying the whole thing home. This is not just a grilled cheese. It's not just 3 ingredients. There's so much depth and technique. You just took the best part of the soup and you put it into a sandwich. Good job.
Good break. Thank you, Chef.
Thanks, buddy. I heard that crunch over here.
I've got the French onion.
Does it taste like a French onion soup?
Yeah, buttery, cheesy goodness.
Love the andouille sausage, love the bread.
Getting a lot of the pimento, and I love the corn coming through it.
Well, I'm from Wisconsin, so I know my cheese, the best I've ever had.
Look, you want to look at the camera and tell your parents from Wisconsin that yeah, that's what you just said? American meltdown. Melt gods.
Yeah!